When Shinichiro Izuma watched his grandmother die right in front of him when he's 5, it was an incident that brought out a longing deep in himself. From young after his grandma's death, he enjoyed to torture small animals and insects to death. At first he wondered if they had gone to his deceased grandmother, but Shinichiro soon came to enjoy purely the process of it. However, as he grew older, he was seized by a longing to execute his fellow human beings. As he went to middle school and his physical abilities improved enough, Shinichiro Izuma made a decision.
Okay, now let's do it to the people I can handle.
One day, on his way home from school, Shinichiro noticed 2 middle school girls walking in front of him. He took out the hammer prepared in his bag and hit the female students' heads one after another. The girls fell to their knees before they could scream at the sudden attack. And Shinichiro, watching this, felt the first great joy in his life. Then, feeling something like a human presence around him, he hurriedly came home. Shinichiro thought his victims were dead, but nothing serious was heard. It was only that the school teacher told the students to be careful on the way to and from school, saying that some middle school girls recently were seriously injured after being attacked by a mysterious guy. Shinichiro thought his plan has gone awry, and he vowed to do the murder properly. A month later, he hit an elementary school girl with a hammer, but the girl ran away without dying immediately. Thinking he had failed again, Shinichiro stabbed another elementary school girl in the abdomen 10 minutes later. He wanted to watch the stabbed child die, but this time he also was reluctant to waste time in the residential area, so he had to return home after a while. Shinichiro thought that the child who had been stabbed would eventually die, but this girl was fortunately treated and recovered. However, the child who was hit in the head by him and ran away died within a week of brain damage. By the way, Shinichiro Izuma, who has not yet experienced murder with certainty, was contemplating a more complete target for killing and set his brother's friend, fifth grader Harsei-jun, as his next target. Harsei-jun, who liked turtles, was tricked by Shinichiro, who said that there was a turtle in the hill behind the town. And he came to a deserted place with Shinichiro. And Shinichiro managed to strangle Harsei-jun, who resisted fiercely. At this moment, Shinichiro could feel his inexhaustible satisfaction. The next day, he returns to the scene of his murder, decapitates the body, hides the severed head by the pond, and brought it back to his house one day later. After washing the head of the corpse, Shinichiro Izuma placed it in front of the main gate of some middle school and put a piece of paper in the mouth. The following was written on the paper with red ink.
All right, the game has begun. Dumb cops tried to stop me. I can't stop killing because I enjoy it. I want to see people die. The sanction of death to humans like dirty vegetables. A bloody judgment on a grudge over the years. Sakakibara, the school butcher.
Police initially assumed the killer would be an otaku in his 30s, but based on the handwriting of the paper and the advice of famous American profiler Robert Ressler, the police lowered the criminal's age to a teenager and changed the direction of the investigation. And not long after, investigators started to look at Shinichiro Izuma, a middle school boy who was friendly with Harsei-jun, but sometimes bullied others and was considered quite dangerous boy by his neighbors. Until then, there was no clear physical evidence other than the fact that the handwriting of the challenging letter and Shinichiro's handwriting were similar. However, at the request of the police to accompany him voluntarily, Shinichiro, who was a first-time offender, meekly confessed to the crime while shedding tears in fear. Although he committed heinous crimes, Shinichiro, who wasn't an adult, only received a lenient punishment by receiving protective treatment at a medical juvenile detention center. He was confined to the juvenile detention center for about 8 years, and during the time he continued to engage in problematic behavior, including gang raping girls in the center with other male inmates. After a few years later, Shinichiro Azuma, who came out of the juvenile detention center, wrote a book about his experiences of hurting people in the past, ostensibly reflecting on his crimes. However, due to this act, his victims and bereaved families were only hurt again. This Sakakibara's book was sold out quite a lot, and Shinichiro says that he earned a lot of money that he became a VIP at the brothels he frequented.